little bit of news, little bit of gossip, just a little bit of non-David Moyes getting sacked stuff, really. So hopefully you enjoyed myself and Gio giving 4 reasons as to why David Moyes will do well at West Ham. As somebody pointed out, it was actually 5 reasons, but I only named it as 4. Hey, what the hell? I'm making this stuff up as I go along. Anyway. So today's gossip, we've got a bit of juicy gossip. We have got some sort of juicy gossip with a player that West Ham may well be targeting. And I think sort of almost more importantly, there's some comments from an existing player of ours, which I think gives a really interesting insight into what's going on at the club at the moment. And I don't want to say the state of the dressing room. That sounds like the dressing room's messy. Of course the dressing room's messy. Mark Noble's not sweeping it up anymore. But they may be about to change. No, it's a little insight into maybe where things are not quite going as smoothly in the dressing room with the group of players as they might have been in the past. So, without further delay, let's talk about it. Okay, unless you've had your head stuck in the sand, it wouldn't escape your notice that West Ham have re-recruited Mark Noble. Re-recruiting is fine, isn't it? We let him go and now he's coming back, but not in the same role, not as a player. I know some of you may well think, actually, we could do with him as a player. No, that's not what's happening here. He is coming back as a sporting director. Now, when I heard this news, I had a load of messages pop up on the phone. And by and large, a lot of the people, both in Hammers Chat social media outlets, certainly on this platform on YouTube as well, people were saying, not before time, it's good Noble's back. This will really help with, I think, what a lot of people think is a bit of a problem with the squad at the moment, and it's team spirit. It's the overall mood. I think the general consensus is that we've lost some characters, and Mark Noble's one of them. And it's funny, actually, because the more we lose and the longer we go on losing for, the more that particular reason or that particular suspicion becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Of course, it's not just Mark Noble. So I hear a lot now. We've lost Noble, we've lost Stuart Pearce. Those two were crucially important to how well the team performed last season. Neither of them were, well, Noble was playing very, very little. Pearce, of course, wasn't playing at all, but they were big characters in the dressing room. David Moyes himself has spoken about this. But also, it wasn't just that, was it? Apparently, Ryan Fredericks was a big character, and David Martin was as well. So a lot of people were saying, well, this is good. Mark Noble's coming back, right? This is great. But, stop, halt. It's in December. Sorry, in January. January the 2nd, 2023. Okay, well, I mean, firstly, that's probably not early enough to fix those things that we think are wrong. If what a lot of people are thinking is Mark Noble comes back in and he's going to fix the team spirit within the dressing room, well, 2 things. Number one, that may be too late anyway, without going back over videos that I've done over the last couple of days. It might be too late anyway. And secondly, I'm not sure the sporting director's going to have any influence within the dressing room anyway. I've made a point of not watching Gio's video last night because I don't know what he's going to say. I don't particularly want what he thinks about it to impact what I'm going to say. He certainly knows an awful lot more than me about the role of a sporting director. But I'm pretty sure Mark Noble's not going in with the old broom and sweeping up in the dressing room. Sporting director would indicate, look, it's either an ambassadorial role or it's overseeing I guess, recruitment of players, the academy. I guess it might be a conduit between the club, the manager and the boardroom, between all footballing facets of the club. Transfers, as I say, academy, first team, all of that sort of thing. In terms of G and the lads up before the game and stuff like that and being on the training ground on a day-to-day basis, I don't think this is it. I don't think this is the role we're going to get with Mark Noble there at all. Anyway, I do think it's a good appointment. I should probably say that. Sort of welcome back Mark. No problem there at all. But to fix this is a long-term strategy thing. This is not going to impact what appears to be the issue. Now, may I just say thanks very much to everybody that posted in yesterday's video. Particularly, you guys, a few cheeky ones of you there, that's for sure. Right, anyway, there's something else regarding a player. I'm telling you now, it's Scamacca. Scamacca's said something which feeds into what I just said about team spirit. And it don't sound great I've got to be honest here. Before I talk about that, let me point you in the direction of the OneFootball app, which you can download by clicking the link below. Why download the OneFootball app? Well, firstly, it's free. Got nothing to lose, have you? Secondly, it's a football app that you can tailor to your own specifications. If you were to create a football app, what would you want? Well, you'd put loads of West Ham stuff in there, wouldn't you? Well, that's what this does. Because when you download it, it asks you who you support, who do you want to follow. So you say West Ham, you might say England as well. We'll cover a bit of that tomorrow, maybe on the channel. And what it does, it surfs the internet. Do you surf newspapers, whatever, flicks through all the newspapers and just plucks out all the West Ham stories, bundles them up, puts them all into one place and chucks them at your phone. Your phone goes bing, and there it is, all the West Ham stuff all in one place. Please do use the link below. They'll know you've come from Hammers Chat. That massively helps us out. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, the other person I wanted to talk about was Scamacca. Now, Scamacca may well start for Italy against England. Roberto Mancini, his manager, was saying it might take him a few months to settle. It wasn't that. He's talking about the acclimatisation of players and how in England it can take him a little while. Basically, Roberto Mancini, who of course has played and managed England, so he knows his stuff. What a player he was, by the way. He's saying it might take a little while. Might take up to 5 months for Scamacca to really settle and us to see the best of him. It's not that. It's what Scamacca said. So Scamacca said the acclimatisation is going well. The group is a quiet group. Helpful. It was very easy. I'm getting by now. I'm going to start studying to perfect English, but I'm starting to make myself understood. All positive stuff, right? You know, good comments. I don't know if you noticed, there was one word in there, and I don't think anything's lost in translation here. One word that really worried me. Did you pick up on it? Quiet. The acclimatisation is going well. The group is a quiet group. Okay, that's not great. Now, he has gone on to say that it's also a helpful group. It's easy to settle. That's good, all right? I'm not saying it's all bad, but when you put it alongside the fact of what I've already said, that we've lost Mark Noble, we've lost Stuart Pearce, David Martin, Ryan Fredericks, and you have a new player coming in, looking at it from an outsider's perspective, he's coming into this, so he's obviously, he's played in Italy, he's played for the national team, played club football. I think, was he at PSV even for a time in the academy? He may have been. So this is someone that's been around and seen other dressing rooms. And his observation is this is a quiet group. West Ham, the players, the team, they're quiet. Well, okay. I mean, this just goes to show the importance of getting characters in there. Now, maybe with this many new recruits, maybe people don't feel sort of empowered enough to speak their mind, to stand up. It's sort of like if you start a new job. You don't walk into a new job and immediately start being the gobby one, do you? No, because you're not going to go in there, you're not going to know more about it than people that are established and been there a while. But I do think, I'm sort of not surprised. Remember me talking about the Maxwell Cornet introduction video when Cornet came in and there was Diop showing him around? And I said at the time, if you remember, I said, this just the way it panned out, it felt a little bit understated in many respects. Anyway, that's just what I thought about it. Again, I do like to look at words and sort of pick things out, and you know what, maybe a bit of that was lost in translation, but I don't think so. I just thought that was an interesting thing. What we will finish up with, though, what we will certainly finish up with, if I can actually find the bloody thing here, the article, is that West Ham have been scouting a player. Fancy that. Oh, hold on a second. It did make me laugh that Ben Brereton Diaz did make it, as basically announced why he didn't leave Blackburn Rovers. He's all right, by the way. As a player, he's all right. I think if we had been interested in signing him, I think as a backup to Antonio Scamacca, it would have been fine. That being said, he'd be struggling to get a game if we had bought him anyway. But there's a load of articles doing the rounds of why he had to turn his back on West Ham. I can assure you he didn't turn his back on West Ham. So West Ham weren't going to buy the player. I just think it's a funny one. It's a bit like me explaining why I've had to reject that invitation to the Playboy Mansion. There never was one, and there really wasn't, unfortunately. Anyway, where is it? So West Ham have been to watch. This can only go really badly. Mikhailo Mudryk. I think I got it. Mikhailo Mudryk. Who is he? Well, he's a footballer. What did you think? What did you think? No. He plays for Shakhtar. And basically, we sent some scouts over to watch him. He's a defender, but apparently he laid on 2 assists in a 4-1 win over RB Leipzig. We had scouts there. Arsenal and Chelsea had scouts there. Lots of people had scouts there. Apparently, we were there to look at a winger as well, whose name I'm not even going to try. But anyway, it's West Ham news. Do you know what? I have to say, I do think if we are in a pickle in January or whenever the transfer window opens, is it still January? I don't know because the World Cup. Now, I do think some new signings, would probably be useful. But at the moment, I'm thinking the last thing we need is signings. Honestly, the last thing we need is signings. We could sign an additional 5 more players. Now, I know you couldn't register them, but you still get the impression they wouldn't be in and around the team. Forget the signings, unless he's a really good right back. Actually, maybe we could do it for right back, but. Do you know what? We're struggling enough to incorporate the signings we got. So I'm not too bothered about that. Did we have scouts at the game? I'm pretty sure we did. I mean, gone are the days when David Moyes had no scouts and then 1 scout on the books. I think we do have, a team of scouts now, which is progress at least. So I'm sure we have scouts at lots of games. In fact, I'm pretty sure if we knew exactly what games our scouts were at, there'd be a lot more transfer gossip, more videos. There you go. Anyway, so there you go. Mark Noble, I've got to say, Mikhailo Mudryk, and of course Scamacca calling his squad quiet. Hey. I'll be back tomorrow. As I say, we might do a bit of England. We might do something. Let me have a little think about it, and I will come back to you on that one.